Hi, Denise.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing okay today. Thanks for having me.
I know that you are in the midst of craziness because fortunately, people are knocking your door down to register and to get early voting done. Let's talk a little bit about what you do there at the Board of Elections and also how things are going for this
Yeah,
upcoming primary.
yeah. So I'm the director of communications here at the DC Board of Elections. So I do press interviews, really communicate with the public. But I really want to talk a little bit about what our agency itself does. So we're a nonpartisan government agency, and we're responsible for the administration of elections, ballot access, and most importantly, voter registration and education here in the District of Columbia.
Well, one of the things as you are getting prepared for is this upcoming primary on June 4th.
Yeah.
I know a lot goes into pulling all that together. It's not just, the day of, but, you all have sent out, I think, primary information,
Right.
kind of your own voter's guide. We did one as well, exactly, with the voter's guide, trying to get people know all the places where they can register to vote. So where are we at this point in the voting process in the District of Columbia?
So early voting starts on Sunday. So we are in the midst of it. Our early vote centers open on Sunday, the 26th, and they remain open until June the 2nd. Unfortunately, we'll be closed for Memorial Day, so don't make plans to vote that day. And we have 25 of them across the District of Columbia, and they're open from 8:30 in the morning until 7 p.m. And then we head into June 4th, which is primary election day, and we'll have 75 vote centers across the district, and those are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we're excited to welcome voters for election time. So
Yeah, and I guess we should be excited or happy in the District of Columbia because some people have already voted. You all sent out those ballots in the mail. People have turned them in already. Can you tell us? I mean, I know who you send them to, and then is there a point when it's too late to send that in?
Yeah, so our mail ballots started go to all registered voters, specifically affiliated voters, so voters that are registered with one of the three major parties. That would be Democratic, Republican, and DC statehood green. And those started mailing in April. And they continue to mail through this month. If you want to track the status of where your ballot may be, you can do that on our website at dcboe.org. If you don't get it in the mail by May 31st, you really should make a plan to vote in person on election day.
That's good to know. So if you did not receive a ballot in the mail, go to the plan to vote in person on June 4.
Yeah.
Now, suppose there's a question about your eligibility, whether you're registered or not. What happens? Because some people might think, well, I didn't get a ballot. Am I still registered? Do they still have my name?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'd love, there's still time to get registered to vote. If you're not, I'll start there.
Okay.
And we do same day voter registration here in the District of Columbia. So you can go to any vote center and what you'll need to bring with you is proof of DC residence. So that can be an ID or a utility bill. If you want to check your voter registration status, you can always call our voter services team, which is their number is 202-727-2525, and they can verify your status.
Wonderful. And for those ballots that people mailed in and then they thought about it and said, I didn't mean to do that. They make a mistake on the ballot or they want to change their minds. Is it too late once they send it in?
No, we can, voted ballots, if you make a mistake on your ballot, one that you've received at your house, you can call our voter services team. I'm going to give their number a lot.
Okay.
It's 202-727-2525. And they can reissue a ballot if you've made a mistake on it. Or maybe you think you've received the wrong ballot. You can also call them and they can investigate and reissue if they need to. I would make a note that if you've made a mistake on your mail ballot and it's after May 28th, you likely should just plan to vote, make a plan to vote in person. And if you're voting in person and you make a mistake on your ballot, our election workers are there to help you. They will cancel the ballot that you've made the mistake on and provide you with a new one. And you can use up to 3 ballots if you make any mistakes.
Wonderful. Now, I've noticed as you ride around the city, I've seen a couple myself. There are these voting boxes. Tell us about those. And is it secure to put a ballot in that box?
Of course, always it is. They're monitored. We put them in lighted locations so folks know where they are, but we call those mail ballot drop boxes. And you can return your voted ballot in the drop box. They're secured. And those opened on May the 10th. So people have already cast their ballots. You can actually go on our website, dcboea.org, and see how many we've received so far.
And are they located all over the city?
Yes, there's 55 of them across the district. So, for example, we have one right out in front of our offices down here at 1015 Half Street Southeast. I have one at my neighborhood library. They're all over. And you can check locations of that on our website at dcboe.org.
Well, Sarah, sometimes I kind of go off script, but there are a couple of questions I did want to ask. And one was about the age. There was a time when the council was considering the eligibility of 16-year-olds to vote. But what is the voting age in the District of Columbia?
Voting age is 18, but you can, with the exception, you can register, or you can vote at the age of 17 if you'll be 18 by the general election.
Okay, and then for returning citizens, their eligibility.
So in the District of Columbia, even if you're an incarcerated person, you don't lose your eligibility to vote. We actually run a vote center at DC jails.
I think that is what was so amazing. I mean, just an aside, when we did a story, actually, it's been a couple of folks who've done stories on the ANC commissioners over at DC jail. Now, they would have only become an ANC commissioner because someone voted for them. Yeah. And so even their colleagues that are, housed there as well get a chance to make that voting choice. And so, I mean, again, DC's, I think, far ahead when it comes to that. So what about voting in your precinct? Once upon a time, you had to go specifically to one place to vote. Is it still that way?
It is not. We have switched to the vote center model. You'll hear me say that a lot, and you'll see it on our signs. And what that means for voters is they can vote at any of them. So maybe there's one on your way to work. Maybe there's one close to your, your church or your hair salon, or maybe it's the one right down the street at your neighborhood school. So we really encourage folks to go on our website and find the most convenient one for them.
Will they be asked, though, when they go in to vote? I mean, what ward do you live in? What is your precinct number? Will they have to know that, or will someone be able to look it up?
Yeah, we print ballots on demand, and they'll be tailored to a particular voter where they're registered to vote.
Okay.
The residential address.
All right. And then what about senior citizens? I mean, people who may not have voted by mail. They come to a voting location. Is there support for them?
Always. We really want to make voting accessible to all people. I can give you a couple of examples of some things we offer at vote centers. One, we have language resources. So if someone's needs assistance, they can ask for that at the vote center, or they can call our accessibility line. And that number is 202-727-5411. We also offer curbside voting. So if you're unable to enter a vote center for any reason, you can arrange to vote from your car. Obviously, mail-in ballots. Your ballot comes to your house. You can return it via USPS. You can drop it in one of our mail ballot drop boxes, or you can, bring it directly to the vote center during early voting or on election day. And then we also have something called accessible remote ballot marking system. And this is an electronic ballot marking system that allows voters with disabilities to vote privately and independently.
You just gave a number out, Sarah, and we missed it. I think it was 727.
Yeah, our accessibility line. So if you have
Uh-huh.
questions or need language resources or have that number is, I'll go slow, 202-727-5411. So 202-727-5411 and
Wonderful.
then 711 for TTY.
So, just generally speaking, have you all noticed whether the number of registered voters in the District of Columbia has gone up, down, about the same? I'm just curious.
I don't know the answer to that question, actually.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, though. We do publish voter registration statistics on our website. And as you know, we do, or maybe you don't know, we do voter registration year round,
Right.
even in non-election years. So that number goes up and down depending upon as folks, new voters join the voter roll, or folks leave the district.
So your voter guide, and then of course, the Washington Informer just did one this week as well. So there are just the offices that we're voting for. Can you share what those positions are, and if there's anything else on the ballot, on this primary ballot, that folks need to look for?
Yeah, I'm happy to go over what folks will see on their ballot. I'll first start that if you want to see a sample ballot, we have those on our website as well. That's dcboe.org. It's also, as I showed earlier in our lovely voter guide,
Right.
we have sample ballots in here as well. But what you'll see on your ballot, the offices include candidates for the presidential nominee for the DC the Democratic Party, and the DC Statehood Green. You will not see a Republican presidential nominee line. They held their own presidential primary in March. You will also see the delegate for the U.S. House of Representatives, an at-large member of the council, ward members of the council for 2, 4, 7, and 8, our U.S. Senator, U.S. Representative, and the national and local party committee members for the D.C. Republican Committee.
Wonderful. And just to give a preview, because we've got to let people fully understand that this is the primary.
Yes.
Even though I say this is probably in the District of Columbia the most important election for us, but November is important as well. I mean, it is the national election. And tell us the date, and if you can share anything that's going to be on that ballot that folks need to start paying attention to right now.
Yeah, November the 5th is the general election. I gotta remember myself. So we don't know what will be on that ballot quite yet. That ballot, as I mentioned earlier about what the Board of Elections does, that ballot access process will happen days after the primary election. So we don't quite know yet.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's good. Well, I think, is there anything else that we need to let voters know about right now in order to make sure that we have a good turnout on June? Primaries are tough. Trying to get the turnout can be tough. But like I said, this is a very, very important election for district voters. So anything else you need to share with us that folks need to know? Yeah,
just a reminder that early voting does open on Sunday, May the 26th. So you have an opportunity to vote in person if that's the way you choose to vote. I personally like to vote in person. Denise, how are you planning on voting?
I always vote in person. I just like to. I like to get that sticker.
Okay.
And I also like to know which number I am at the precinct that I vote in. I'm number 25, and that's not bad since I vote early in the morning. But
Well,
so
mail ballot
like
voters, folks that vote my mail ballot also get an I voted sticker. I know those are really important. At least in my house, they are. So, but yes. So, early voting.
The sticker on how do they get the sticker? Is it on the ballot?
It's in the ballot.
Oh, shows I haven't opened mine yet. But that's because I'm going to go show up.
You're going to go vote in person. Yay. So yes, our vote centers, there are 25 of them. They open on Sunday. and run through June the 2nd. They're open from 8:30 in the morning until 7 p.m. And then primary election day is the 4th of June. And there's 75 vote centers, and they're open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make your plan to vote. Another thing, if you're mailing in your ballot, it needs, or dropping it off in one of our mail ballot drop boxes, they need to be either postmarked or dropped in the box by election day, which is June the 4th. And then they have to be received by us if you're mailing by June the 14th.
Wow. Well, Sarah, thank you so very much.